fighting against the toughest, you're gonna become the toughest. If you're fighting in that environment, the toughest environment, you're gonna become that environment. So let's just get used to the toughest environment and let's go for it. Let's just make it happen. I'm the head professor here. I'm the head professor here. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year's, and welcome to another episode of Modern Day Warrior. Today, we have the Submission Underground champ, Mason Fowler, here today. What's going on, Mason?
What's up? What's up, Professor Angel? Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it.
Always, man. It's always a pleasure to have you here, you know. So, you are from Fresno, right?
Yep, born and raised Fresno.
Oh, okay, good. And you just defended your belt on the Submission Underground.
Yeah.
Against Ryan Bader. That was amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how many times have you defended your belt?
Oh, man. So I won the belt. I got it from Craig, and then I defended against Craig once. So that was one defense. And then Vinny, Satoshi, and then Ryan. So I got 4 defenses now.
Wow, you are putting in so much work. That's amazing to see you just prevail the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I know that takes a lot of hard work and dedication, training hard. And first of all, how did you get the call? Did you apply for Submission Underground, or did they invite you? How did that work? Because I just all of a sudden saw you on UFC Fight Pass, and I was clapping, having fun, and happy to see you on there. I was like, yay,
yeah.
Mason's on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah. No, that's actually a great question. It's a good story. So, So Heather Standing does the matchmaking for Submission Underground, right?
Right.
And she put up a post because she was mad at people that were lower belts that were applying for the Submission Underground 10K tournament. So she made this post that was like, I don't want anyone to be applying unless they're a black belt or better. So I don't want any colored belts applying for this tournament. And I made a comment on the post just jokingly like, oh, well, I know a brown belt that gave Craig a pretty good match at 80cc.
Right. Just
like as a joke, because she was talking crap about colored belts, right?
Right.
And so anyways, didn't think anything of it. And all of a sudden, it's like 3 weeks out from the tournament, and Heather messaged me and was like, hey, like, do you actually want in the tournament? Because I talked to Craig, and he said that you deserve to be in it.
Awesome.
And so then I was like, yeah, let's do it, whatever. So I'm in. And then ended up getting the win in the tournament, and then it's all history from there.
Opportunity was knocking, and you took it, and you did not back down, and you take any fight given to you, I've noticed.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that Submission Underground wasn't the first tournament that was doing like a 10K type of tournament. Anyone that's been following the Jiu-Jitsu Super Fights and the organizations going on right now, there's another organization called Third Coast Grappling, and they actually had started doing the 10K tournaments, I think, right before Submission Underground did theirs.
Right.
So whenever the quarantine started, March 13th, 15th, whatever, whenever it was, our gym was closed. Our competition team was canceled. Everyone was freaking out. So I came here. I live and train in San Jose mostly full time. But then I came back here to stay with my girl because I was living in a print shop. I was living in the back room of a print shop. Wow. So I was like, man, if I'm not training, I'm gonna come back to Fresno and stay at my girl's house. She has a nice house with a pool, and it's like, fuck that print shop, right?
Right.
So then I'm staying with my girl, and I was training down here in Fresno. I think I came to here to Halo once or twice. I went to a couple different spots. I had gone to Visalia a couple times, but I wasn't grinding. You know what I mean? I wasn't training hard.
Right.
I was just coming in,
flowing,
training, going, with blue belts, like da-da-da-da, whatever, moving, yeah. But I wasn't really in that grind.
Right.
Drinking wine every night with my girl and eating bad and
Getting
whatever.
comfortable.
And then I'm on my phone and I start seeing these, like, guys competing in these 10K tournaments, and I started to get that anxiety.
Right. I know
I was
it
like,
well.
fuck, man, what if I get the opportunity to compete in one of these tournaments and I'm not ready? I'm going to either A, go and compete and look like shit, right?
Right.
Or B, I'm going to have to turn it down. So then something switched in my mind. I was doing the quarantine life for about a week and a half, and then something flipped in my mind. And then we set up our competition training again. We couldn't do it at Kyle's. We had to set it up at a different spot because of the lockdowns. Over there in San Jose, they're really, really strict on the lockdowns.
I know it.
So
Close to
here in
that.
Fresno, I know they're strict too, and you just don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
But in the Bay Area, they're like super, super liberal, super like
I know. Pushing us around too much.
pushing too much. Yeah. And you know, Kyle, he has a big business, and he just wants to play it safe.
Right.
He does. I've been telling him about you. I told him, Professor Kyle, there's this dude named Angel, man. He's kind of crazy. He's not shutting down, and he's saying fuck you and this and that. And Kyle's just like, man, I don't know. I don't want to risk it, you know.
I know.
But anyway, so set up the training in San Jose, and then every week for about 5 or 6 weeks, I was driving back and forth.
Right.
You know, I would go stay in the print shop for like 3-4 days, train, get my hard training in, and then come back, quarantine and chill.
Right.
For like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then go back Monday. I was doing that like 5 weeks in a row.
Right.
And then got the opportunity for the 10K tournament on 3 weeks notice. So it's good that I had that like 5 weeks prior of the hard training.
Right.
So that when I had an opportunity to compete on 3 weeks notice, I already was, you know, decently in shape, decently sharp, and then I was able to go out and perform.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah, the pandemic has been, 2020 has been a rough year, and, we're in 2021 now. That's all behind us. But last year, we had to pick and choose where we competed, and you did fairly well with the submission underground. So, that's good for you that you kept grinding, and, me, myself, I kept competing as well,
Fight to wins, a lot of fight to wins, right?
A lot of fight to wins, and, just trying to get out to any tournament I could and taking my students out there as well, staying active. But you're doing really good, Mason. And so you did fight amateur as well.
Yeah, I fought MMA as well.
Yeah, you fought MMA. And what made you transfer to mainly jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, man, another good story. So we can kind of get in depth on it. I've talked about it a little bit. I was having problems with like concussion symptoms, right?
Right.
Basically what happened is we had our normal sparring day on a Wednesday, and at this point, just for some context, I had already quit my job to become a full-time fighter. I was 2-0 as a pro at this time, 6-0 as an amateur. I had no college degree, not a lot of real-life work experience in any type of field, so I pretty much had all my eggs in one basket, right?
Right.
Everything was to become a fighter. I think I was like 21 at the time.
Right.
Sold my car, riding my bike to the gym. Like, I had nothing. So then anyways, normal sparring day, and nothing crazy really happened during the sparring session. I didn't get knocked out. I didn't get dropped. I might have got tagged a couple times, but my legs didn't wobble. Nothing out of the ordinary happened during the sparring session. And then get home, I'm just chilling like on the couch, sitting on my phone. 20 minutes later, I just start seeing all these like flashes, like I almost couldn't see anything. I couldn't look at my phone. I couldn't I couldn't read anything on my phone because I had all these lights flashing.
Got you.
And then it lasted 20, 30 minutes where I couldn't really see much, and I had all these lights flashing in my vision. And then after it went away, I just had like a really bad headache, and I felt really like kind of tired and sleepy. Anyways, that like those problems, those symptoms of like, I started having like light sensitivity. I started having really bad noise sensitivity where if I was like walked into a loud room, I would have to leave. If I went into like Whole Foods, the lights overhead would bug me where I would be like really uncomfortable. Just even if I was in a place like this with the lights overhead,
right,
I would just be really uncomfortable. And those symptoms lasted for 4 or 5 months. I couldn't do any type of workouts. Like if I tried to even just jog down the street, I would get like real dizzy and lethargic. I would feel real weird.
Okay.
Couldn't train jiu-jitsu, couldn't do anything. And so during that time, you have to imagine I'm like just like sitting in a dark room. I couldn't watch TV or anything.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking like, man, what if I can't become like a UFC fighter, which was my goal.
Exactly.
What the fuck am I going to do?
Right.
And I actually had worked for Pepsi before that, like stocking shelves.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to all the guys who do like just regular 9-to-5 jobs. Man, it was horrible. You're just like putting soda on the shelf all day, right?
Right.
All day. And I'm just thinking like, man, is this what my whole life is going to be? So during the time when I had the head trauma issues, that's all I could think about is like, man, I'm going to have to go back to work, and I'm going to have to work some mind-numbing job for the rest of my life, right?
Right.
It's getting real depressed thinking about it. So ended up having a couple talks with a couple close people, and just kind of having a talk with myself, and seeing all the jiu-jitsu guys out there, guys like yourself. Once you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, it's pretty much like a college degree,
Totally,
right?
professor.
You're a professor, and you can now turn that into a business.
Totally.
You can turn that into a career. So
Exactly.
now my goal has to be, okay, I still want to fight, but it's not the smartest, because if I get another concussion, that's going to lead to me not being able to train. I have to train in order to get my black belt,
Totally.
right? So I didn't want to get jiu-jitsu taken away from me, because
Never.
that was going to be my fallback. If I didn't become a UFC champ, I can open a gym and do jiu-jitsu. So anyways, decided to focus more on jiu-jitsu. I didn't even think about becoming like one of the, like, I'm going to try to be one of the best guys in the world, or I'm going to try to be like a world champ or whatever. It was only like, let me get my black belt so that I can open a business, and so that I don't have to go to work like a shitty job again, right?
Right.
And then, just by luck, man. I mean, by luck and hard work. My professor Gabriel, we had brought him in from Brazil, so we had like a really good head professor at Dethrone. He was an IBJJF ref, so he really went over all the rules and stuff. None of us had any idea about the rules. We would just go compete. We didn't know about the advantages, anything.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. You just go out there and compete. So then when they brought in Gabriel, he became like my best friend, right? My brother. He's one of the referees for the IBJJF. And me and him just like grinded every day, trained every day. We were working on like the rules, strategy, everything. Then he would take me out to these tournaments, and then I just started winning. And then it's like, okay, maybe I can actually compete at a high level in this.
Right.
I never really had thought of it that way. I just was like, oh, let's just do these jiu-jitsu tournaments for fun, like it's whatever, and then just try to get the black belt.
Right.
And then ended up, being able to compete at a high level, and just kind of never stopped from there.
Gabriel's a really good guy. I always see him at all the tournaments. Shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to you, Gabriel. You're a great guy.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, I always see him all the time. He's so cool. You know what I mean? He's like, Angel, what's up? He just has such a good attitude, and he's always showed a lot of love, and he has a great heart, and he's a good dude.
Yeah, real good dude.
Yes. So where does Mason Fowler go from here? ADCCs?
That's the goal. That's the all this other stuff, like the Submission Underground, is amazing, and I have so much love for them. My main goal right now is ADCC. If I can get an ADCC gold medal, that's going to cement me as one of the best grapplers alive.
I believe you are, and I believe you're going to get it, and I think you're going to do major things. This is just the beginning for you in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the big goal. ADCC is my number one goal. Professor Kyle also expects me to win worlds at the black belt level, which is another very tall mountain to climb. So
Yes, sir.
those are the two. The two most prestigious tournaments would be like the IBJJF World for the gi, and then ADCC for no gi.
Right.
So definitely, I've competed already in ADCC. I was close to making the podium.
Yes.
So that's my big goal. That one seems like it's really close.
Yes.
And then also, if we can do IBJJF Worlds in the gi too, that would be amazing.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I respect your Professor Cal. He's a great guy. So many people respect him. He has so many titles. He's just unmatched. Like, the guy is like, he's a super wizard. And he has a great attitude, and he's very like positive. So that's what I've always looked up to him for, his positivity.
Yeah,
so
Kyle's amazing, man.
Yeah,
His jiu-jitsu's just a different level.
I mean, I've seen him for years, and I was always impressed by him. Even when I first started out as a white belt, I was like, wow, his jiu-jitsu is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He just has techniques for every little movement.
Right.
Like I slightly position my body one way, and then you start to react yourself one way, and then I react this way, and then if you actually react this other way, then I have to react this way.
Yeah.
It's like there's 10 different techniques to every position, and then every position has 10 more. It's like a tree. There's just more things branching out. It's insane.
And he's probably just there all the time.
All the time.
You're like, okay, I move here, and he's already there around the corner, and he's Caltieta. He's on your back for no reason.
And still training like every day hard too.
Awesome, man.
I bring guys. I mean, I've brought like some of my friends in to train with them, like big strong guys, UFC fighters, and he'll scrap with them, and they'll be like, "Man, how did that little guy just do that to me?"
Right.
It's like insane. It blew my mind too the first time I rolled with him.
Exactly. Yeah, I bet. Definitely. So you competing against the highest level fighters, UFC fighters, the best grapplers, you've been to ADCCs. I mean, that's where you belong. And I see you just, doing big things. What about one day Mason Fowler having a school called Mason Fowler Submission Grappling for Killers? I don't know what you're gonna call it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see you with that already. You're putting in a lot of work. You're almost to your black belt, and I see you with a school in the future. I mean, that's what I see.
Yeah. So that's, of course, that's in this sport, that's the goal, right? You get to a certain level, you compete just to kind of build your name and show that you can hang, and to show that jiu-jitsu, right?
Right.
You're still out there doing it. You're still out there competing against black belts every freaking month, and some of it is just that you like to scrap, knowing you.
Oh, yeah, I do. You know me. You've known me for a long time. I mean, I've been competing straight since 2010, and I've never taken a break. I had a surgery. I had a hernia surgery, and had calcium deposits built up on my ankle, so I had 2 surgeries in one. I took 6 weeks off, but before that 6 weeks, I did 4 tournaments in 1 month to make up for my once-a-month tournaments, and then after that, before the pandemic, I did 8 tournaments in 2 months, just every week. And I'm just like trying to outdo me. I'm a master. I'm having fun fighting the top masters in the world. And I'm just trying to be a better me. I'm nobody special, but I'm still out there trying to set the example for my students. Like you set a good example for jiu-jitsu fighters. You're going after it. So when you open your school, there's going to be no problem that you're going to have a lot of students coming to see Mason. That's guaranteed.
Yeah. And then the other thing also, which I know this is probably a case with you as well, but just some other guys I've talked to that own schools, is like, you want to also show your students that their money is well spent.
Right.
Like, look, I know what I'm talking about. Let me go show you against this other black belt.
Yeah.
Let me show you. I know some jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So when you're coming to my school, you're going to learn real jiu-jitsu.
Right. Definitely, man. You're a local legend out here in Fresno. I see that, Mason.
Yeah. Just got to stay humble, like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Got to keep my head contained as much as possible.
Oh, keep it little.
Keep it contained, and then just try to keep the momentum going.
Definitely, man. Yeah, you got to stay that way. Yeah, I see you doing that. You won't change. You always stay ready, and I don't ever see you turning down any fights. What about Fight to Win one day?
Yeah. So of course, Fight to Win's an amazing organization too, and I've gotten offers from Fight to Win since I've been doing the thing with Submission Underground, and I've gotten offers from some other leagues also.
Yes.
For me, I mean, the biggest thing is just like Submission Underground's paying me X, right?
Absolutely.
It just, some of the other offers I've been getting compared to X are not kind of on the same level.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna stay with Submission Underground. They pay me really well, and for them, marketing wise, not saying that I would go lose on some other league, but if, say, I was to go like take a match on a different league, and I dropped a match,
right,
it almost kind of would take away from them.
Exactly.
It kind of wouldn't be fair to them.
Right. Yeah.
So if I am gonna take an L, I'd rather do it under them.
I
what I'm
get,
saying?
Yeah.
Because then it's gonna help them build up the next guy also.
Exactly. You gotta stick. You gotta stay where they're taking care of you.
Yeah. And Chael really takes care of me, so I'm
great
loyal
guy.
to him. Yeah.
He's a great guy, and I've always been a big fan of him. We all have Chael, the wrestler, MMA guy. He's a beast. So shout out to Chael, man. He's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good things. So So your fight path to Ryan Bader, that was a huge win.
Yeah.
So did you have to did you have to plan for him to did you train with other people, or did you just you fight everybody anyway, all sizes, or you just said let's just get in there and do it?
Yeah. So I actually one of my really good friends, Deron Wynn, he's a wrestler. He's about the same weight as Bader, maybe a little bit smaller.
Right.
Has decent grappling too, and he's a fighter. So I train with him pretty frequently, and then we have another real big wrestler named Danny Chade. Really good wrestler. He's 235, 240. Same, literally looks exactly like Bader.
Just a brick.
Just a brick, but a little younger, more kind of in his prime.
Right.
And really strong. Like lifts every day, and he's transitioning kind of into jiu-jitsu a little bit.
That's good.
So he doesn't have amazing jiu-jitsu yet, but he's such an athlete and such a good wrestler that he gives all the black belts there a really hard time in training, including me. He gives me really hard training, and he's like a perfect training partner for Bader. So in between, we had 10 days to prepare for Bader, and I was able to get a couple good sessions in with Danny. I consistently am training with that style, big, heavy wrestlers.
Right.
So the technique that I actually hit on him is something that I actually learned a long time ago when I was a purple belt, and I didn't use it much. And then just in the past 6 months, I've been hitting it again on a lot of these wrestlers. Just the
Right.
way that they defend the sweep. You set it up with the butterfly sweep, and the guy really bases out and doesn't let you sweep him. And as he does so, he leaves his arm exposed.
Arm lock.
And then you just straight arm lock. So it's just one of those reactions you're going to get from a high-level wrestler
Exactly.
that doesn't want to get swept.
Yeah, they always want to reach up to the head, and then, the jiu-jitsu guy always makes them pay.
Exactly.
And we've all paid. We all grew up wrestling, so I remember going against jiu-jitsu guys reaching up, oh, arm lock, get my arm back. I might get elbow lock like you did.
Yeah.
Basic, solid submission, from the butterfly guard. Could happen from the shoulder lock, but went straight down to the elbow, locked it out. That was amazing submission. That was good.
Yeah. So same preparation, and Bader, I figured that he was going to be really strong, right?
Absolutely.
Really aggressive.
Totally.
And when I saw his match against Rumble Johnson
Yes.
before in Submission Underground, he was really aggressive and he came to win. You know what I mean?
Right.
He scrapped hard. So mentally, I was preparing for a war. I was preparing for it to go to the overtimes and for him to be, not breaking, not giving up,
Yes.
coming after me, chasing me the whole time.
Right.
And luckily, I was able to catch something in the first couple minutes when it was dry.
That's
and
good.
I didn't have to go through that freaking war with him. Because those wrestlers, they scrap.
Oh, yeah.
They don't quit.
Yeah, and you would have been slippery afterwards, and it would have been crazy. It would have been
It would've been
wild.
wild, yeah.
Yeah, Mason would have been getting it still. I know you would have been fighting. Good
Yeah,
stuff, bro.
yeah.
Good stuff. So you were announced the MVP of the UFC. What award did you get?
Yeah, so that was UFC Fight Pass.
Of the year.
2020 MVP.
Congratulations.
That was sick. When I was really surprised when they sent me that.
That's awesome, man.
A really pleasant surprise. It was really cool.
You deserve that.
Thank you.
You work
Thank you,
hard
man.
very much. Yeah, you're a hard worker, and we're very proud of you out here in Fresno.
Yeah, UFC Fight Pass too has been taking care of me, man. Just like getting me on some of their shows for interviews and
Right.
promoting me, and so I really appreciate that. Also, UFC Fight Pass is a huge platform.
Totally, man. You got major wins against the highest level jiu-jitsu fighters and jiu-jitsu fighters. So, Mason, you are on your way, and we are proud of you, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations for everything you're doing. And what about? I heard something that you're going to be throwing a tournament around here. I think I saw that online.
Yeah.
Did I see that? What?
Yeah. So we had ran one tournament before, and it was a normal tournament before COVID.
Right.
Local thing similar to like Grappling X.
Yeah.
And we invested in a lot of equipment, and we were actually planning on running our second tournament around April. We had to cancel it due to COVID, right?
Right.
So now it's been almost a year. There's been no tournaments in Fresno. There's
Yeah.
been no tournaments in California. Nothing.
Right.
And so what we have is we have a lot of people that are white, blue belts, or maybe they're upper belts, but they're not full-time competitors. They're hobbyists, right?
Totally.
They have a full-time job. Maybe they have a family. They're not going to freaking travel to Florida to do the pans. Some of the guys are, some of the guys can do it.
Right.
But we have a lot of local competitors that just can't make that trip, or
Totally.
they can't fly out to Texas for Fight to Win. They want to drive down to a local tournament and compete and be home to their families or whatever that night.
Right.
So what we're planning on doing, and it looks like we're gonna be able to pull it off, is we rented a space.
Right.
We're gonna bring our mats. We're gonna have one ring.
Right.
We're gonna follow all the COVID protocols to the best of our ability.
Right.
You're only gonna have exposure to the one person that you're competing against.
Totally.
You're gonna get your one match. We're gonna have social distancing. Everyone's gonna be masked up. We're gonna have our ref masked up, and we're gonna have our two competitors. We're gonna have our commentators 6 feet away, and we're gonna bring people in, have them do their one match, bring them out.
Totally.
So we're trying to give people a chance to compete. There's a lot of people that want to compete,
Absolutely.
and they don't have the means to.
Totally.
So yeah, we're gonna do what we can, and then we're gonna stream everything free on Facebook and YouTube, so
Right.
that normally your family would be able to watch you at the competition. They can't watch you, so we're gonna do a free stream so that all your people will still be able to watch you and support you.
Totally. Well, we got the Valley, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to take part in that. I know I can get you some students as well as all these other schools out here in the Valley. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure that show will work out for you.
Yeah. So we're just man, we're trying to give people an opportunity to compete. I've been blessed. You know, I'm in a position where I can travel and go compete, but not everyone is in that position. So,
Right.
let's try to bring something to keep the jiu-jitsu community strong.
That's what's up. All right, before we get out of here, Mason, where can everybody reach you at? You know, they want to be your friend, your fan, your homeboy, or they want to come train with you, get private lessons. Where can they find you online?
Yeah, so just on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram's my name, Mason Fowler, MMA.
Right.
And then Facebook's just my name. And I try to respond to everyone. So if you have any questions about the tournament, or maybe it's just a question about training or competing, you can feel free to shoot me a message. I try to respond to everyone.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right, guys, this is Mason Fowler, the Submission Underground champ. Look him up online. He's kicking ass. And have a good day. Peace.
Peace.
If you're fighting against the toughest, you're going to become the toughest. If you're fighting in that environment, the toughest environment, you're going to become that environment. So let's just get used to the toughest environment and let's go for it. Let's just make it happen. I'm the head professor here. I'm the head professor here. So we got to get everything out there for you, bro.
Yeah.
God, good times, dude.
You know, it'd be awesome during your fights. The referee, he's in a bubble.
Yeah,
You know, he goes around
the
in a
bubble boy.
you know?
If you guys like ever needed, like I know you're gonna